What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex. You are watching the Ragin Ronin review. I got a review for you. Last weekend, I watched Fury, and Fury is the latest film from director-writer David Ayer. Now, if that name sounds familiar, he's responsible for a number of LA crime dramas, such as he was the writer-director for Harsh Times, Street Kings, and End of Watch. He was also the writer for Training Day. Now, here is a film, Fury, that is a huge departure from what we're used to seeing from him. Fury is a tank movie that takes place in World War II. And when I say tank movie, I don't think of anything else. What I mean by that is that I've never actually seen a tank movie before. I've never seen a film that is centered on a tank and its tank crew. So I thought that this concept was very unique. I mean, we've seen a lot of World War II films, but a lot of the times the story is focused on the infantry, the ground soldiers, or it would be focused on the pilots. So you would see, either the soldiers on the ground or the pilots who are fighting in the air. But we've never actually seen a movie that's centered on the tank crew. So this is why I find that this movie is unique and I had to check it out. And this movie stars Brad Pitt, Shia LaBeouf, Logan Lerman, Michael Pena, and also John Bernthal as the tank crew. And of course Brad Pitt is the tank crew commander, captain. So he leads the crew. And when I think of Brad Pitt in this role, I think of a version of Aldo Rain from Inglourious Bastards, but a more serious version of that character, which is actually what it is. Now, with regards to the film story, it's really just a World War II film, but centered on a tank and a tank crew. And that's all you really need to know. It's about them going into enemy lines and fighting to survive as crew members of a tank. And that's where I found this movie to be exciting. I really enjoyed this movie. It's another one of these movies which really brings us the horrors of war, which is something that we've seen in a lot of recent war movies. And this horrors of war concept was really established with Saving Private Ryan. From that point on, all the war movies were about the horrors of war. And this is no different. But I find that David Ayer, he really took the I guess he took the not the level of violence, but the level of grisly imagery, the violent imagery, to a whole nother level with the aftermath. And, it's a little bit over the top where I feel it's like, okay, we get it, okay? It's a little bit too much. And it's like, that's a bit too much. So I think David Ayer just brought it a little bit over the top, which is not something that I thought was like that bad, but I felt that it was getting a little bit carried away with that. But it's still quite shocking when we see it. So I guess in some ways it was effective. As for the actors and the characters, I actually thought everybody did a great job. Everybody was very unique with their roles. In fact, I personally believe that this is Shia LaBeouf's best role to date. I thought he put in a great performance. Brad Pitt, you can never go wrong with Brad Pitt. I mean, he's either made a good movie or an average movie, but I've never seen him make a bad movie. He never actually put on a bad performance. So Brad Pitt was great. Logan Lerman as the reluctant hero. It's a character we've all seen before, but at first I was thinking, oh man, can we just get this kid to stop being so annoying, because he's getting in the way of these other tank crew guys trying to do their job. But later on you see the character development, and I liked him later on. His character developed, and he was good. Michael Pena, you just got to have a character like him. He provides a bit of the comic relief. And then you got John Bernthal, whose character actually is the typical jerk. He's the guy that really just gives everybody else a hard time. But you need to have this misfit a band of characters to be there. So I thought every character was well written, and they contributed to the piece very well. You couldn't have any of them excluded. It was a very solid cast with a lot of great chemistry. So I love the characters, I love the performances, it was all great. Now, the main problem that I had with the movie was I felt that it was a little bit too full of cliches. There's a lot of story elements that I felt that I've seen before, thus making it predictable, and I felt that some things were a little bit unbelievable. Like I kind of lost my engagement with the believability at some points, because I was watching it and I was like, no way. And there was another point where I was just thinking, I knew they were going to do that. I just knew it. And we've seen a lot of these cliche elements before. I don't want to spoil them and tell you what they are, but no, I'm not even going to spoil it. I just think that there's some things that we've seen before, and there's some things that I felt that you know, that was nothing really new or unique. What was great about it was the tank battles. I love the tank battles. I love the fact that this is a World War II film which is centered on a tank. In fact, the tank plays a character in itself. It's kind of like a pet, like a dog, and they're training the dog, and the dog only functions well and helps out the group as long as they work as a team. So that's how I liked the movie. I liked the movie because it was centered on these guys and of course their tank, and they functioned as a team, thus making very good chemistry. So I really enjoyed the tank aspect of the film. I thought it was something that we've never ever seen before. I mean, when you think of tanks in films, all I can really think of is the end of Saving Private Ryan, and also the third act of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. That was the only time where I felt that the tank was plays a pivotal role in the movie's climax. All right, but other than that, this movie is something very unique. If you're a fan of war films, definitely check this one out. Like I said, the tank battles were really cool. Very intense, and of course, very engaging. Now, there's also one more thing that I wanted to point out, and I just thought that the tracers, you know what a tracer is? It's when, like a bullet, when a projectile, you know, ammo, it makes like a laser kind of effect, and I felt that the tracer was the tracing effects was a little bit too much. It made it look like they're shooting lasers at each other, and the Germans always shot green tracers, whereas the Americans always shot red tracers. And it just felt like Star Wars. They were shooting lasers at each other, and I thought that was a little bit distracting. But for the most part, I really enjoyed this movie. I'm going to give this movie a 7.75 out of 10. It's very entertaining. You know, I could do without the cliches, but other than that, what made it work was the characters and the concept alone. So very cool. I recommend it. Go check it out. Very violent film, but very enjoyable. Okay, and there you have it. That's all I gotta say in this video. As always, if you enjoyed this review, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name's Alex Yu. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. All about what they will accept as their director's fee and where they want to bring the direction of the story. Okay, of course, you know, it's not that they can do whatever they want.